Tears from a man who witnessed the horrors of the Saffron Revolution firsthand. Until now, U Pancha, a Sikh businessman, was the unknown face of Burma's uprising. But here he is during those protests. "Don't be afraid. Come follow us," he shouts to the crowd. U Pancha was on the front lines when the protests, which briefly inspired hope for change, were brutally crushed. He was at the sacred Swedagon Pagoda when the first monks were forcibly derobed and killed.
One of the monks in the front was beaten on his head and kicked in the chest. Blood poured from his mouth and he died in front of my eyes.
U Pancha, now in hiding, is deeply sceptical about the UN mission in Burma.
Gambari is a very important person. He should demand to meet the people and the monks arrested during the protests.
But for most of the past 6 days, Mr. Gambari has been closeted away in Burma's bizarre jungle capital, Naypyidaw. Only today, at the end of his visit, did he meet pro-democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi. But he left the country without meeting the junta leader, Senior General Tan Shui, seen here waving off his Prime Minister on an overseas visit. Instead of meeting the senior generals, Mr. Gambari has met with junior members of the regime, who proceeded to lecture the special envoy. It appears to have been less of a dialogue than a monologue. For U Pancha, there was a moment of hope for dialogue. He revealed to Channel 4 News that not all military commanders were prepared to follow orders to fire on monks and unarmed civilians. He held secret talks with a senior army officer who refused to carry out the orders of Burma's military strongman.
The commander of the 77th Regiment said to me, "We will not shoot. We understand the situation, so please hold the demonstrations in a peaceful manner." So they sent another commander, Thura Shui Man, to Rangoon, and he ordered his soldiers to shoot the protesters. Regiment 66 shot the people, and many were killed. We felt great pity about the death of these monks. We shall never forget this.
And the danger, danger, drawing near them was a white coat. And the danger, danger, drawing near them was a broad boat. And the water, water running clear beneath the white throat. And the hollow chatter of the talking of the tadpoles who know the outside. Should we go outside? Should we break some bread? Are you interested?
Monasteries like this one in Rangoon were ransacked. The security forces did not hold back. At this monastery, pools of blood mark where monks were ruthlessly beaten. Kawida confirmed that the brutality continued in detention.
The junta officials sat on chairs, and then 3 monks at a time were told to squat on the floor. They were asked if they took part in the movement. If they said no, they were beaten on their backs with sticks and ordered to name the leaders of our movement. Those who refused were beaten again.
Monks are still being jailed, he says, and some are being killed. Bochi's organisation has documented that over 1,000 people are still being held in detention following the crackdown, far more than the government admits to. And torture, he says, is widespread.